Here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Play My Music podcast. I am your host, Mark Reddick, and we're about to kick off another wonderful show today. So I have with me at the mic Mark C, all the way from Babylon, New York, my home state. Let's show him some love, y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
man. I'm
Mark.
glad you could make it
Oh, thank
with
you
us
so much
today.
for inviting me. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Yes. We're going to slow this down a little bit and get to some conversation.
Sure.
So, Mark, tell us about yourself. How'd you get into this music industry thing?
Wow. So as far as industry, I don't know. I started. I've always had a love for writing music since I was a child. I was probably writing poetry long before I can ever play an instrument. When I was 25, I had a good friend that I knew from high school. Uh, he actually taught me how to play the basics of the guitar. So I had electric guitar first, and
Mm-hmm.
later purchased an acoustic that year. And when I was 25, 1995, and from that point, I just started playing, and just the love of it. That's what drove me to do it. And so couple that with writing songs. I've always wanted to be able to articulate the things that I had, the melodies I had in my head into
Mm-hmm.
the guitar to writing. So that was my goal. So 3 years later, I started recording my first set of music. There was mp3.com at the time for
Mm-hmm.
folks, that may or may not remember. So I was uploading over dial-up, believe it or not, loading tracks, and it was a free-for-all. Basically, loading tracks. I would review music that was posted on the site. So it was like trading reviews, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
was doing it because I like to write. I like listening to music. And ironically, I ended up getting involved in the IPO for mp3.com. So I ended up making some money off the stock. So ironically, it wasn't intended, but from that point, all this time I had been working in the education industry. I was in the technology field, but I was working for universities in education. So music was always a hobby and always
Mm-hmm.
something I would do in my spare time. So from that point, several years later, I started recording more music. I got involved with CD Baby. I was releasing things, but nothing like really serious. I would play, and as far as like playing, I'd play like I had a local church group and stuff. I would play acoustic guitar, playing stuff. That was my thing. Always playing acoustic and electric. So fast forward to this year or last year, 2025, late last year, I retired finally. So
Mm-hmm.
for all these years, I've been wanting to do a new album called Ghost Talk Show. So I shared the link with you if you want to share it. It's here now link. So
Sure.
I've released that up through CD Baby. There's 9 tracks on there. Three of are we're going to discuss today. But my brother also writes. He likes to write lyrics. So he's listened to my melodies and he'll write lyrics or he'll just come up with lyrics. So I put those lyrics. I also have my own songs that I write from start to finish. I play everything on these tracks. I sing. I try my best. Singing's not my forte, but I love playing guitar. I love, like I said,
Yeah.
and in the process, I think the goal is to create something, but also to learn. So for me, it's a learning process. I don't, as far as it, being for commercial or to make a living out of it, I give a lot of credit to folks that can do that.
Yeah.
Obviously, the business, from the time that I first started recording has changed markedly. It's not even the same landscape. So,
Right. Right.
and I think today, but I think what's encouraging is today you have more of the tools. Like years ago, I didn't have an iPad. I
Absolutely.
didn't have I think in some ways there's more opportunity than ever if you want to create something and make music than there was, maybe when I first started 30, I guess it's now been 30 years
Mm-hmm.
ago. And you don't necessarily need to have like major labels. You can kind of do it yourself,
Do it
though.
yourself. That's
You for
absolutely.
for distribution and all that other thing, that's a whole nother process. I mean, as far
Mm-hmm.
as marketing and that aspect, that's something else. But for me, I obviously I make music for stuff that I listen to it. So it
Mm-hmm.
more all of the music, I'll basically record something, and there'll be days when I record stuff or I'll make stuff, but I always do it for the goal of getting better because I want it when I listen back to it, I listen to how I play and it makes me more conscious of what I'm doing. It makes me
Mm-hmm.
more basically more in tune and you get better, right? So I feel like I'm improving. But there'll be days, honestly, I'll record stuff, I don't like any of it. And then there'll be those moments, and this is what you live for, where you record a chord progression, or you put something down and it comes to you and then the lyrics are there and it's
Mm-hmm.
like you don't expect it and it's like at that moment you try to capture as best it's like catching lightning in a bottle. That's what I'm trying to do. So it's
Gotcha.
addictive, right? So and it doesn't happen all the time, and honestly there'll be times over the years where I'll have a spurt of creative energy, like it'll just come and all these ideas will come to me and I'll try to get them down, capture them,
Mm-hmm.
and then I try to share them, share them out, and see people. Some people say, "Hey, this sounded good," or I get some good feedback, or they say, "Hey, you can improve this." The whole aspect of engineering and I honestly, it's a whole nother world, and I'm learning
Mm-hmm.
more. But that's just something I honestly, it's a little bit. I would love to have somebody that really knows what they're doing to kind of help me with that.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I kind of wing it. I basically use my iPad. I use GarageBand. I know about Logic Pro. I have a Focusrite interface. I plug in. I have a mic. Actually, I can if you want, I can even show some of my setup. Let's see. I don't know if I can get in there. See if I can change my background. Let's see, video and
Mm-hmm.
effect settings. See if I can show you my background. Appearance, virtual backgrounds. Just do none. So you can see I have, microphone here. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Headphones, have my focus right. iPad is not here now, but in the back I have my guitars, and that's pretty much. It's a very simple setup,
Mm-hmm.
but the goal being is I want to. I also have it in a room. I used to have it in my basement, so now I have a den in my house. So my goal is to be able to make recording as few barriers and as easy as possible. So when I get the inspiration, I can cut right over to right out of my bedroom into my next room and start recording and start putting stuff down. And then what I'll do is I'll go for walks. That's my other thing now. I'll go for a walk and I'll listen to the music on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
through earbuds. I want to hear it. I'll listen on my radio. But if something's catchy, I keep working it. It's not just a one-off. I keep working at it and trying to
Mm-hmm.
make it better, and that's the process. And I think for me, this whole like ghost talk show thing and the album, all the stuff, it's trying to kind of push yourself to make something. That's really the end game. It's trying to and make it better.
Yeah.
So that's what music is for me. Again, it's a hobby for me. I don't perform live. I do make music. I share it with folks, and people like it. Hey, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I play acoustic. It's mostly acoustic folk. As you'll see, most of the tracks are like, sort of like acoustic folk pop. I
Mm-hmm.
do play electric a little bit, but again, it's more like ambient folk and that type of thing. So,
Gotcha.
um, and yeah, so that's that.
Okay. Well, you said a mouthful. You've pointed out, you know, all your experiences and you know, play by play on how you record. That's wonderful. I'm not mad at you at all.
Sure,
So we have a good idea of how you create your music. Okay. So you did send us some music, so we want to address that. We want to deal with
sure.
that. So the first
Yeah,
song we're going to play is "And Now the Rain Is Gone." So tell us about that.
sure. So that all started. Yeah, I think it was in 2012. I have a YouTube video. I also have a YouTube channel too. So if you want to check out, the audience can check out music that's up there. I've recorded things back from like 2012. I think I have things from 2010 is the earliest.
Hmm.
But my first music I put up in 2010, I think around there. And I recorded it probably in the late 90s. So some of the tracks are raw. It's newer stuff. But the goal was, and again, I kind of go for like a raw sound, but it's more to get the ideas out there. So now it's a little bit more polished. It's gotten better. But and now the Rain and Go is Gone was started from a chord progression that I was playing around with on the acoustic guitar. I started recording it, and funny enough, I had lyrics, but I couldn't. It was trying to match my voice to sing what I wanted in the progression. So what I ended up doing is doing something like a little bit more like ambient and like a little bit more like dreamy.
Hmm.
Because I wanted to catch more. I want the song to catch more of a feel. It's more of a song, a feeling song and to catch a vibe, right? So it was more like a chill acoustic vibe is what I was going for. So the words were sparse. It wasn't like a traditional like, okay, here's a chorus and you know you have your verses. I wanted to like sort of drop them in there with this particular one where other songs I'll do that we'll listen to later, there's more of the traditional song structure. This was more like an ambient feel. So yeah, that's and so I come to about last year, late last year, I started playing the song again and again as I had more time, you know, with retiring. I kind of revisited the chord progression that I had and kind of developed it more into a song. So
Hmm.
that's what you have now. And now the rain is gone. Yeah,
Okay, we're gonna listen to that right now.
sure. Yeah,
And now the rain is gone. Here we go.
sure. And there's an instrumental version too without lyrics. So that's also on the same Ghost
Got you.
Talk show here.
Okay. So, Mark, let me ask you.
Sure.
Um, was it your aim to kind of tuck your vocals away under the music?
Yes, I wanted to make it more focused on the ambient sound, the violins, because I fell in love. There was a violin track, like a strings track, because I love the strings. I wanted to add that in. So I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to go for more of an ambient thing
Mm-hmm.
because the vocals I wanted to be, I didn't want the vocals to be the primary focus of it. And actually, I did share in the chat, I wanted to, just for comparison. I have the original a video that I did back in, I think it was in, it says 11 years ago, so it's probably like 20, I'm gonna say like 2015.
Mm-hmm.
That was the original idea for the song. That was what the bait, that was the progression. You'll see me playing it. And again, I'm just playing the guitar, and that's actually where the song idea came from. So adding the violins and all that stuff, that was something I just did,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with this recording in 2025. But before that, it was nowhere. It was just basically this progression that you'll see in the video. But I also, what I did is I shared with you my YouTube channel link, so you can see, like, and that's the thing. What I love to I want to, that's the other thing with YouTube. I wanted to share music so I can, for myself, see how it changes and evolves over time. And it's sort of like timestamps where I was at a
Mm-hmm.
particular point, and again, I'm hoping to improve. And
Mm-hmm.
that's that track. I did one where I stripped the vocals out completely, and it's basically an instrumental version. So that's also out there too. So yeah, the
Okay.
vocals, like I said, it's really hard. The key is making something that fits my range. I don't have a like an extended vocal range, so I can't sing. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to, like, you want to sing and you don't want to be off the mark and the key. So it was trying to like weave
So
that in.
you're basically what I see that in my opinion, what you're kind of doing is hiding your vocals behind the music. You don't
Yeah,
want anybody to hear you sing.
yeah.
But if there's lyrics involved, that's the only way we'll understand what you're
Right,
singing.
true, true.
So
And that's something I need to, yeah, I try to, that's why what some of the things I've done, that's the other thing too with learning with the audio adjustments. I was, that now what I do now in my tracks is I go in and there's the audio. I'll actually, adjust out the lower bass volume, bass frequencies, and try to adjust it so you can hear the vocals a little better. So that's something I didn't do on these tracks. And
hmm
again, it's an evolutionary process. So what I'm hoping is with the new tracks that come out, you will be able to hear, you'll hear the vocals a lot better. Yeah, I agree. It
okay.
does. Again, this is my first real,
Yeah,
like,
you're still learning. I get
yeah.
it.
Oh,
I get it.
absolutely, every day.
I
So.
get it. All right. You sent us another track um, entitled "I Am Dreaming of." Tell us about that.
Okay, so that's the track that where this started was in 1998. Again, I've been playing guitar for 3 years now. So I was playing around, and what I did is I was recording to physical cassette tape at the time. For folks that are young enough,
Yeah.
cassette
Yeah, I remember.
was
I remember.
yeah, I mean, so folks that, yeah, right. So for us, like, that was what we did, right? So, and it's funny, like, I was always thinking about getting like a D8, I guess a tape recorder. They had a four
DA88.
track, yeah, yeah, like a four track.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what was it was called
Well, the four track
a
was
Tascam.
Tascam
Yes.
246.
Yep. So I was very close to getting one. Now I never did. And the thing about it, it was something where you could actually record to physical cassette because I figured, hey, that's something I'm familiar with. So my setup at the time is I would record to this old amp. I really didn't have, like, I was recording into my stereo, and I still have the stereo downstairs that I use.
Mm-hmm.
So I was taking my amp, feeding that into the stereo and my mic, and sort of like kind of recreating what the Focusrite does here. Trying to anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
so what I was doing is, and this is my I guess my how do you call it? My process was basically just every day recording, just anything, just get an idea, just throw the tape on, start recording, and then I would have at the end of it, I would have, let's say, maybe a half hour of music of something. So I
Mm-hmm.
gave it to my brother. So my brother was listening it to one day, and I guess one of the chord progressions I was doing, or whatever the riffs I was doing, I shared it with him, and he said, "Hey, about a few days later, he says, "Hey, I came up with these words for it, and he actually sang, which is funny. I actually on the channel, I think I have the version that he originally sang, because it was his song. So we jammed together. I had my electric guitar, clean tone, and we just started playing. He goes, "This is what I want. This is the progression that I hear." So I just modified what I had been playing, and we worked it out as he started singing it. And then the next thing you know, we recorded it. We wrote rest of the lyrics. I cleaned up some of the lyrics a little bit, but most
Mm-hmm.
of it's his. It's all the lyrics are all him, and the melody
Mm-hmm.
is me. So yeah, so we ended up recording it in '98, and then again, at that time was very raw. I can even share with you a link for the original song so you can kind of see how much it's evolved. But
Mm-hmm.
fast forward to 2025, I love the song, so I wanted to re-record it again. And that's the song that you're going to hear today. So that's the version that you hear. But again, it originated in 1998. That was the first time. That's when the song was written. And that's when, again, all of the effects and the things that pretty much is 2025. So I can look up, like I said, I can always share with you. I think I have it on here. I have an earlier version. I'll have to look. But like I said, you'll play this version, and this is the latest version, but it's not the first version. And
Mm-hmm.
again, as I said, it's evolved markedly from what we originally did in 1998. Plus, the technology too has changed. I mean, when you think about it, like recording on tape and that whole process, and then the microphones and then balancing, there was none of that. We didn't have any, I didn't have that's why I was hoping to get like a 4-track Tascam to try to, but the idea of recording to tracks and doing all that, it's something I think people take for granted today because you have GarageBand, right? That can do all this stuff. And then pitch control and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any of that. So it was
Right.
just really raw. But the goal was to get the idea out, and that's what we were trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's take a
Yeah,
listen. I am
sure.
dreaming of.
You
Let's
got
check
it.
it out.
Yeah. Let's see.
I am dreaming of what I could become if you could only see what's really within me. Why do you decide? No, my sincere cry. And why do you believe those with foolish pride? I can't believe you cease to see what's really within me. And sweet time will say when it strikes you in the eye, and nothing else will matter. No more dreams will shine, but you have found the one that's real lots of fun and happiness you have found.
Okay, cool.
You like that one? So you can hear the
Yeah.
lyrics. You hear the lyrics a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
clearer,
Everything is
and
very clean. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and the effect at the end was accidental. The echoing, like the where they sync the voices, that was an accident. I don't even know how I did that. I basically got
You know,
the
sometimes
yeah,
the accidents are the best outcomes in music.
yeah,
It's fun when that works out. Yeah,
yeah,
it was kind of short song, but it's cool.
yeah. And
I am dreaming of.
Yeah, and I shared with you the original one that we did way back when, that I had put up. That was my brother singing it. So you
Hmm.
can, if you want, you can share that later. So
Okay,
that was how it evolved. Yeah.
cool. Alrighty then. So we have one more from you today.
Yeah.
Thought I saw you yesterday.
Yes.
What's that about?
Okay, so that is about it was a dream that I had, a very vivid dream of a loved one that had passed. So um uh how it came to me, I basically had some of the lyrics, and again I kept uh, playing this chord progression where it was sort of like, I guess like a B minor with what do you call it? Like a suspension on it. So as I'm playing it, let's see if I can kind of show you. I'll show you real quick. Hold on. Let me get my guitar here. So it was something like this. So I was playing it. So it was like this. I could see it like that. And that
Okay,
was the idea. So basically like a B minor with I guess a suspension.
okay.
Whoop, to a
If you're
G, right?
playing,
A C to a
if we're
G.
playing, we can't hear it.
Oh,
Are
I'm sorry.
you
Oh, you
playing?
can't. Oh,
No.
okay. Oh, okay. But that's basically it. Sorry. Oh, you can't hear the. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Do you want to try
Yeah,
it
because
again
your
or?
microphone is your mic. We can hear you because I guess your mic that you're coming through. I don't know how
Oh,
microphone using, but I can't hear your guitar at all.
oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay.
It's
But
okay.
that's the progression. It's like a B minor to an A minor to a C to a G and a G. And that was so from that, that kind of I kept playing that and that kind of stuck in my head. So from there, I built the song. I had some of the lines down. The Thought I Saw You Yesterday, and then there was a couple of songs. So I just wrote out the lyrics, and that was it. Yeah, and that's the song. It's pretty long. This is one where the one mistake I think I made was the pitch. I discovered the pitch control. I wanted to adjust it a little bit, but again, it's kind of like you need to auto tune it. But with that said, I was really happy with the way it came out overall. I thought, again, it was the goal was to try to convey the feeling, and this was one of the songs that I wrote like late last year. So again, just a dream. It came, and I
Hmm.
just started writing the words, and it took about, I'm gonna say it took about a couple weeks to kind of like refine it, but
Hmm.
that chord progression was always was always there, but it was
Hmm.
like working it into a song. So it took a while. It didn't come right away.
Hmm.
It took like several weeks to kind of finalize it. Anyway, I'm just gonna put this back.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's it. That's that song. So,
Okay. Well, we're gonna
yeah.
let everyone hear it now. Thought I
Okay.
saw you
Great.
yesterday. Let's
Great.
check it out.
Sorry about that. I didn't know that you couldn't hear my
That's no
guitar.
no problem. Not a
All right.
problem.
Thought I saw you yesterday.
Nice. Nice ending.
Thanks. Yeah. I did that
Nice
too, where
ending.
I added on one of my new tracks, I added a flute at the end. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I like that's my favorite part is the strings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, that came in at the very end. Uh, yeah. Sometimes we do that as artists. We just introduce a sound or something at the end that had played no part in the entire song. That
Hmm.
was cool.
Yeah. It
Okay.
was fun.
Yeah. All right, Mark. Let me say that you're invited to come back with other material and set it
Thank
up
you.
and come back on the show.
Yeah.
So before you leave, share with everybody, where everybody can log into to hear your music, to purchase your music, um, all of that, the paraphernalia,
Sure.
whatever.
Sure. So let's see if I can maybe I can I don't know if I could should I share my screen or and show it that way? I could do that if you want.
You can try it. I know usually the host has the
Yeah.
which I'm the host, has the
Yeah, looks
access
like
to
I
the
can.
share.
All right, so let's do this. Let me share it real quick.
Okay.
I'm going to share. All right, so you should see. Okay, so hopefully you see everything. All right, so basically, if you go to the easiest way to find it, you could find me on YouTube.
Hmm.
Um, let's see. So let's say if we go to YouTube, just look for at Mark C. Let me just get there. A little slow. We'll just show the channel. So it's Mark C, indie musician, and you can. There's basically I have all my music is here. So you can. There's a Mark C music playlist, so you can hear all my stuff.
Okay.
Um, and for all of my for all the music that you just heard, let me just see if I can do this real quick here now. Hopefully it comes up. Should come up real quick. There we go. So if you go to markc.hearenow.com, markc all one word .hearenow.com, you can basically stream pretty much all the tracks are right here. There's all the clips. You can go everything. It's available on all the platforms.
Hmm.
Spotify, Apple Music, all the popular platforms. So if you're on Spotify, all my songs are up there. And there's an instrumental version for and the now the rain is gone too. There's some other tracks that we didn't hear today, but again, I'm also working on a new album called "It's Me, Mark C." So that's in the works, and
Okay.
I will be sharing some of that music out shortly. I'm just waiting for. I actually have a lot of it. I'm working on it. So let me just stop sharing. So I'm
Hmm.
working on that now. And hopefully later this maybe by the summer. I'm probably going to be releasing my first single called "How You Left Me Still." That's coming out at the end of May,
Hmm.
end of May, middle of June. So I'll share. Matter of fact, when if that does come up, I'm more than happy to share that with you, and maybe we can get on again and
Yeah.
probably
Hmm.
do some new tracks. Yeah. So my goal, like I said, is to hopefully up the production a bit,
Hmm.
improve it, and again, I really appreciate just having the opportunity to be on the podcast. Thank you.
Sure. Sure. Anytime.
All right.
Okay. Well, you gave us all the information we need. That was the first that someone has shared their screen. That actually is very helpful. So
Sure.
when we post this, folks can go back and look and watch and
Yeah.
see how to log on to all your music. All right. Well, once again, we thank you for being with us here
Yeah.
today. And like I said, you're welcome to come back.
Yeah, I did include the links in the chat too. So if you want, or if you need I have the links that I shared here. So if you want to include that in the notes, or just so
Yeah,
folks
that's. I think I
can,
said. I think I chatted you
yeah,
back to send it, email
yeah,
it to us. So when we post the video, we post
yeah. I'm
everything.
sorry. Yeah, it's like I think I shared. I might have shared the here now side. I'm not sure if I gave you the YouTube, but yeah, please let me know. I'll email it to you, whatever you need, and of course, if you need me to, follow up any additional information or anything. But yeah,
Sure.
this is great. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I do agree with that one song. But that's the challenge is making sure that everything's balanced. And again, I'm open if there's somebody who wants to collaborate and
Hmm.
try to sort of improve some of the audio engineering. That's great too. So I'm open to that
Hmm.
too. But thank you so
Okay.
much. All
You're
right,
welcome, Mark. Thank
all
you.
right, all right, Mark.
All right.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Thank you so much.
You're
Take care.
welcome.
Take care.
Ladies
Bye
and
now.
gentlemen, that's Mark C. from Babylon, New York, Long Island. And if any of you out there would like to have your music featured, please send us an inquiry to playmymusic711@gmail.com. That's playmymusic711@gmail.com. All right, that's it for today. Please go and support Mark C. Has a lot of great stuff out there.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you next time. So until next time, God bless you. Peace.
You too, sir.
All right, Mark.